Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video on my access refusal last year. As some of you guys may know, I mentioned it in a few live streams previously. I had an access refusal this time last year and I wanted to let you know about it to sort of, you know, raise the profile of these incidents and discriminatory actions of the people around me and the public. And by no means is this my everyday, you know, dealings with the public. There's so many lovely people out there and I don't want you to just hear this video and think, oh, blind people are hard done to, because there are so many lovely blind people, and there is evidence of this on the Facebook group VI Talk. It's a really popular group for disabled people who are visually impaired, so I would really recommend, you know, following that. And also there is a group run by Sass and Holly called Purple Elephant. That's on Twitter, I think, and it's also a major Facebook group. So check those Facebook groups out if you are looking for some happy and sad stories of visually impaired or disabled people. So my access refusal, I maybe, like many guide dog owners, and maybe, I say maybe, I said that word so many times, very loosely, because I know from my experience and other people's, if you have a guide dog, at some point in your life you're gonna have been discriminated against or refused from an establishment or a taxi, and that is just the world we live in. I will link below a few resources that you can look at, and a few BBC articles on people who have got refused, but this is my story. So I used to go to the University of Law before I got my job at the BBC in London, and as you guys know, I went there for a few months, and this was this time last year, so it was a very cold evening. I was standing outside, just come out from a lecture with my note taker Petula. She always got me into taxi cabs because that road was massively busy. It was a massive big stretch of road, and it was a one-way street. So I came out, I got a text to say from the taxi cab company that my taxi had arrived. It had the number plate, it was really safe, it was a black Peugeot. So Petula was like, great, I'll look out for the car. It was 3 minutes and he was already there, and we were so happy. And Petula waved to him and he waved. At the time we didn't know, but it was a very sarcastic wave, like, ha ha ha, you really think that I'm gonna do that, mate? Because Petula said he had this, like, he looked at me and then looked at her and was waving. So he definitely acknowledged us. Obviously I wouldn't know that without my note taker Petula, and she was really kind getting me into the car, as she always did. And he drove past completely, and we were like, oh, that's a bit weird, like it says you've arrived and that was his number plate, and that's very, very odd, how weird. And we thought, oh, he's just gone around the corner because it's a one-way street, so, you know, unfortunate, but he thought he might not have been able to stop or anything. It was like 10-15 minutes later and I was like, where is this guy? And Petula was like, the road isn't that long, seriously, I think he's just refused you to get in the taxi. So I was like, right, because I didn't want to tolerate that, and I don't think anyone should have to be refused to get into a cab. I phoned up the company that had the cab on their system, and I was like, you know, I've just been refused, could you tell me a reason why this may have happened? And they were like, oh, you've got that wrong, love, you've got that wrong. The operator was like, you know, you didn't get a text, like what's going on about? I said, I screenshotted my phone, mate, like, you know, I'm not delusional. I'm outside law school and I've been out here now for 30 minutes and I've just been refused. I felt absolutely on rock bottom. I felt like a disgusting piece of mud on someone's shoe, you know, that someone could look at me and my dog and think that I wasn't worthy to get in their taxi. And it's the first time it properly happened to me, so it really hit me hard. And the guy on the operator didn't seem to think that it was that much of an issue, and that I didn't really understand what was going on or something, or I wasn't reading my phone properly. That's how he was sort of treating me. And he said that, you know, there's a taxi on its way now, it's going to be 20 minutes. And I said, I'm not delusional, I'm reading my phone, right? I was quite harsh on the phone because I was so adamant that, you know, this shouldn't be happening to me, but he couldn't necessarily do anything, and I did understand that at the time. But I wasn't going to let this go. I got home and I cried and cried and cried for a few hours to my parents, and I was like, why does this always have to happen to me? Every time I go out the door, there's always some sort of problem or question or concern about, you know, my disability or how people manage me, or, you know, I just feel like a problem to the world, to society, and to myself. So I got my thoughts together and thought, you know what? This doesn't have to be an issue unless I make it an issue. This person does not have to affect me, because at the end of the day, they're one person in my life that I didn't even meet, and why should their opinion be relevant to me and my life? I can lead an independent and fulfilling life, and I don't have to think about someone who, you know, did that to me anymore. And to think any other way, I think I would have been ill from it, because quite frankly, it was appalling. So I took him to court and I won. We only got the result a couple of months ago. Thank you so much to Petula and Dot and the team at the licensing agency, because I got £20 from him and he got his licence suspended for 6 months. And I really do think that that is justice served. I don't like to wish horrible things on people, and I don't even want, you know, anything horrible to happen to him, even though he did discriminate against me. But I do think he did deserve, you know, what he got from that and how he made me feel. It was just awful. To be honest, he just looked at the dog and not the person behind the dog who needed that taxi service at that time. I think people should really realise, you know, that taxis for blind people are a major mode of transport that actually make me feel so independent, because you know, I can get my Google Apps app out and I get straight to the destination, straight to the front door of places. I can track where I am and feel really independent and have a really nice chat with a few taxi drivers. And to be honest, I made so many nice taxi driver friends who dropped me to and from uni. And that was one guy, I think, had another incident that didn't get taken any further, but you know, that was one guy out of so many people that I actually made friends with and made me feel so at home in their taxi. So guys, if you ever have anything like this, please, I know it is massively emotional, but we have a priority and a responsibility as disabled young people to stand out and tell those people, you know, it's not right to do that. And once the emotion has calmed down and we don't feel so tired and drained and, you know, sad about how people treat us in these specific moments, we have to speak up, we have to take them to court, we have to do the appropriate thing to bring these people to justice and feel better. And that's how we change the world. Never forget that we have voices. We are just as important as anyone else, and we together can change the world. I really hope you're having a great Monday, and I will speak to you on Friday. Bye guys.